Hello everyone, today we'll continue the parent function. Today we'll talk about quadratic function. Okay, this is part 4, parent function, quadratic function. Today specifically we'll explain quadratic function deeply and understand how we can solve under questions in M2. Actually the M2 exam, if the question asks you something in the quadratic function, it will be like one small thing out of the things we are providing in the quadratic functions. So let's start. The first thing, quadratic function. Okay, the standard form of quadratic function is called, it's actually ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, there are 8 major things I need to understand and remember while solving the quadratic function. The first thing is to put in your mind the a. If a is positive, means the parabola is the concavity of parabola, it's upward. And if a is negative, the concavity is what? Downward. This is the first thing you should know. The second thing, the y-intercept. Y-intercept is when x equals 0. So we can find the y-intercept. Where does the parabola intersect with the y-axis? Okay. The third thing, which is called the roots, zeros, the solution, the x-intercept, all of these when y equals 0. So when does the parabola intersect with the x-axis? We call it the zeros of the parabola. Then after that, we have the vertex, it's minus b over 2a from the standard form, and we plug the x coordinate of the vertex inside the quadratic to get the y. Or there is a small thing here. We can use the calculator, okay, to solve this question. You go to the calculator and hopefully I can maybe do a small video along with this video to show you how you can do the quadratic polynomial. Choose power 2, then after that you get the zeros. If you continue that, the calculator casts you type, I think EX911, okay, it will show you the vertex form and it will show you the vertex along with the position of that vertex, if it's in the minimum position or the maximum position. Okay, the axis of symmetry x is equal negative b over 2a, which is the axis of symmetry is the vertical line that cuts the parabola into 2 equal parts, right and left. The domain, the parabola domain, which is quadratic function always has the same domain, which is x belongs to all real number from negative infinity to positive infinity. Range, of course, if you want to trigger that point and aim for range in the parabola, you should look at the y coordinate of the vertex and check from there what's the range, y greater than or equal or y less than or equal. And the factors, actually the factors from the roots, after you find the roots you can find the factors easily. Okay, so we'll see now one of the examples here. Question 1, check. F of x is equal x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay. The parabola opens upward, the concavity upward. So yes, because it's positive. Basically, so the vertex here, it's minimum because it's the bottom point of the parabola. Second thing, if I want to check the y-intercept, when x equals 0, go out, and what's remaining there? 6. So y-intercept equals 6, or you can write it as a point, 0 and 6. The roots of this function, okay, you can go to the calculator, find the roots, or you can do it manually way. So x equal negative 2 and x equal negative 3. Those called the roots. The roots means when the parabola cuts the x-axis, when it intersects the x-axis at 2 different points. So the x equal negative 2, the x equal negative 3, that's from the roots of this quadratic function. If you want to talk about, or you can want to rewrite it in a form of factors of these, of the quadratic function itself. So if you want to factorize it, okay, from the roots itself, we can get here x plus 2 and x plus what? 3. Fine. What we have else here? The vertex, okay, from the parabola minus b, which is minus 5, over 2 times a, 2 times 1, that's equal negative 5 over 2. If you take negative 5 over 2, you plug it in the place of x, After evaluation, okay, here we get the -1/4, and this is the y coordinate of the vertex. So I have the vertex here. Those are two major points in my calculations. Now, for the x part, okay, for the x part, I'm going to talk about what the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is equal x equal -5/2 from the x coordinate of the vertex. The y coordinate of the vertex, it controls what? The range. So y greater than or equal -4, or another way we can say here, check this with me, we can say the range y greater than or equal -4, or I can write it from -1/4, okay, to positive infinity. That's it. Okay, that's one of the things. And of course the domain here is, can say domain will x belongs to all real numbers, or we can say -infinity to what? To positive infinity. Those are the 8 major things in quadratic functions, and you always should know how you can get that easily. Okay, in the M2 exam, the question will ask you about one thing, one of these 8 things. What are the roots? Maybe what's the axis of symmetry? Find the vertex. What's the vertex? Maybe the parabola shape. Maybe the parabola shape as a question comes, okay, and you need to extract informations. What are the 2 roots? If you know that this parabola touched the x-axis at one point, how many you can say way you can find out, okay, the standard form or the vertex form. You need to connect things in solving quadratic functions. Okay, let's see another question. Question 2. F of x equal -x² minus 5x plus 10. Okay, first thing come to my mind is that the concavity of the parabola is downward. Okay, is the first thing. The second thing, okay, the y-intercept is equal to what? 10, because x when it equals 0 goes 0, remaining what? 10. So the y-intercept is equal to 10. And as I said, the vertex -b/2a comma y. So you need to get that part. Number 3, x is equal 1.53 and x equal -6.5 or 33, sorry. So these two are the roots, okay? If you want to write it as a factor, you can write it in this way, as long as you can't write it as a rational expression, okay? Numbers, okay, as a fraction, okay? And the vertex itself, -5/2, 16.25. Look at the sign itself. Since the parabola concavity downward, what about the vertex? The vertex becomes what? Maximum. The vertex becomes maximum, and in this case we can say that axis of symmetry x equal -5/2, and look, domain x belongs to a real number. Actually, it's always x belongs to a real number, -infinity to positive infinity, and the range here, that's my point. Y less than or equal 16.25. Why it's less than? Because the vertex itself becomes what? Maximum. And if you want to consider the range, is going to be below that point. Fine. Okay, here we go. This is a small information about the parabola and what are the nature of the roots that control the shape of that parabola. The first thing we need to know, what is a discriminant? Discriminant is equal b squared minus 4ac. b squared minus 4ac, from the standard form, from it, if it equals to 0, it means the parabola touched the x-axis at one point, as you can see here. So if b squared minus 4ac equals 0, then the parabola touched the x-axis, so I have only one root, repeated root. Okay, tamam. And the second one here is b squared minus 4ac greater than 0. So I'm having here what? Two roots, the first one and the second one. But in the third part, if the parabola b squared minus 4ac less than 0, it becomes complex numbers. Okay, so no real distinct roots. So in this case, the parabola doesn't touch the x-axis. Okay, and here we go, the end of the discriminant. Okay, question 1. Now, for the solving M2 questions, okay, so here the coordinates of the vertex of parabola whose equation is y equal 2x squared plus 4x minus 5. So the vertex, I know, minus b/2a. What's the value of b? The value of b is what? 4. So minus 4 over 2 times 2, its answer is equal -1. -1 is the x coordinate of the vertex. So now taking -1 and plug it inside x, as you can see here, then we get what? 2 times -1 squared plus 4 times -1 minus 5 equal -7. So this is manual way of finding vertex. In the new calculator, okay, you can find it easily, faster than this. So in this case, -1 and -7 becomes what? The vertex. This is question 1. See you in the question 2. Okay, here question. So the equation of the axis of symmetry of a function y equal to x squared plus 3x plus 6. Okay, remember, if I want to find the axis of symmetry, I can find it from the vertex. So get the x coordinate of the vertex, which is minus b over 2a, and that equals minus 3 over 2 times 2, which is -3 over 4. And remember, since the axis of symmetry is a vertical line, it's a vertical line, so always x equal. Since it's a vertical line, x equal what? -3 over 4. It's -3 over 4. Here we go. The answer is B. Okay, next question. Okay, last question for this video is x squared plus 2x plus 3 equals 0 has 2 real rational roots, 2 real irrational roots, 2 equal real roots, 2 equal rational roots, 2 complex conjugate roots. You can find it from the calculator directly. You plug it inside it, 1, 2, 3. You can find the roots, and then you can decide which of the multiple choice, okay, is the answer. Or you can do this manual way, b squared minus 4ac, so 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3, and that's equal 4 minus 12, that's equal negative. Since the discriminant is negative, and then it was the answer in this case. It is 2 complex conjugate roots. Okay, this again as an M2 course. Hopefully like we can go more in the functions. This is quadratic functions. Inshallah, catch you again with another functions, maybe higher degree functions later on. See you, and have a good day. Bye.